We are super excited to be at the ICT Spring 2023 to record a whole TechTalk season about tech for sustainability. ICT Spring is one of the top tech conferences in Europe where business decision makers, innovation managers, startups, researchers, and venture capitalists get to network and exchange knowledge. We have a superb lineup of guests who share with us what sustainability means to them, their views on how technology impacts the sustainable future of the world, and what their company is doing to contribute to that future. Among other things, we also ask them about how they stay at the forefront of technological advancements and use them to address sustainability challenges. In this episode, we speak with Jean-Paul Lorrain, Head of Environment, CO2 and CAPEX at ArcelorMittal. Are you as excited as we are? So let's jump right into it. Welcome to a new episode of TechTalk. This is episode 1 of our ICT Spring special season, and it's called The One on Tech for Sustainability with ArcelorMittal.
That's right, and today we are happy to have with us Jean-Paul Lorrain, Head of Environment, CO2 and CAPEX at ArcelorMittal. Welcome, Jean-Paul. My first question is, what does sustainability mean to you in a few words?
Okay, what sustainability means to me, I would say, will be to avoid as much as possible an impact on the society. It's impossible to have no impact. The only way, if you want to don't have any impact, is to be dead. Then in your full life, you can try to minimize the impact you have. And that's why I'm in ArcelorMittal, because we have a big impact. And with my job, I have the chance to reduce the impact of ArcelorMittal.
That's nice. Shall I take the next question?
Please.
In your view, how does technology impact the sustainable future of the world? And how does your company contribute to that future?
So today, if you look at the global warming potential and the CO2 emission of the planet, ArcelorMittal is making maybe 1% of the full emission of the global world. Our company is making between 150 and 200 million tons of CO2 per year, which is a huge amount. And if you look at the global warming of the overall world, you cannot say it's wrong. It's for sure true. Then our company and the top management have decided that in 2050 we'll be carbon neutral. And I'm really glad to say that it's not an only wish. We will really do it. So we have, I would say, two main steps. One first step will be in 2030, where as a group, we will reduce by 25% the CO2 emission. And in Europe, we want to accelerate a bit more. We want to reduce by 35% at the horizon of 2030, and then become carbon neutral in 2050. So this passes through a complete plan of everything what we want to do to achieve this. And as we want to be sure that people believe us, we are making what is called climate action reports. So it is a public report that you can see on our website, where we are really showing what we are doing. So we made the first one 2 years back, I think, and the last one 9 months back, when we show the progress of our different projects in reducing our CO2 footprint.
Great. And how does your company contribute, to a more sustainable future? What are the concrete actions you are taking?
The first point, steel is a product which is 100% recyclable. So it means when you are finished with the steel, you can melt it and renew steel. So this is something which will be an endless loop that you can reuse how many times you want. So starting with this, if we are able to produce with the less amount of CO2 possible, then we will be good in sustainability. So I will give some example of what we are doing in reality. Let's start at the global picture. You have 2 ways to produce steel. The first way is using virgin material and blast furnaces. Okay, this is more or less 2/3 of the production over the world. And by doing this, you need to consume a lot of coal from mines. And to let's say, be better in sustainability regarding this, we are aiming to do 2 things. First point, to use as much as possible renewable carbon. I will give some example after. And then change the process of production to be less demanding into terms of carbon. So I want to give 2 examples for the blast furnace routes. It's in Ghent, our plant in Belgium, one of our best plants. First point, we are using waste wood instead of coal. And the waste wood are hazardous waste. We don't know what to do with. So they are piling up everywhere. And because they have some product on them which are harmful, it's difficult to recycle. So what we do, we will torrefy them and put it in our blast furnace. Then they will burn. And with the process we have, we are sure that we don't make any harmful substance for the population. So this is point one. And the point two, when you have a blast furnace, you have some waste gases containing energy that you have to use to make electricity and other stuff. In that plant, we have a part of this gas which is used to make bioethanol that will be put in cars. So by doing this, we will really reduce our CO2 footprint. So this is, I would say, a first step to go to the 35%. On top of it, we'll go from the blast furnace route, which is using coal, to a route which is using natural gas. By doing this, you are dividing by 2 your impact. But it needs investment, big investments. We are speaking about billions. You cannot do like this. So you have to make it with time. So we have a plan to install it in different plants. So we are starting in Spain, where we'll go to that route in Spain in 3-4 years from now. So this is reality. This is public, and the European Commission is giving us some subsidies, helping us in making that transformation. If I go to the second route, which is the route where you use recycled material, so it is scrap. So this is something which will increase in the future. And in that route, as you are using scrap, you are emitting 3 times less CO2 than normal. So this is a route we are using more and more.
That takes to the next question, although you mentioned investment. What are the biggest challenges you face in trying to become more sustainable?
So the first one will be in terms of investment. So this is the point one, because we are speaking about billions of euros. So Europe Commission is really helping us. If they really want us to decarbonize. In France, President Macron says that I think 40 main polluting company will have a lot of subsidies if they decarbonize very fast. Okay, so in France, we will have some subsidies. In Germany, some subsidies have been awarded. And in Spain, as I told you also. This is the point one. The point two also, if we want to completely switch to carbon neutral, instead of natural gas, we will have to use hydrogen. This is one of the solutions we want to use. So first point, we need someone to produce that hydrogen because we don't have enough today. This is something which will come in the future. We are not really afraid about this. But on the second point is that the cost of production of hydrogen may become really high. And because of this, the price of steel can increase quite a lot. So this is something we have to see how we are able to make that green hydrogen coming to our plant to an affordable price for us and also for the customers. Because if we make a sustainable steel which is 20 times higher than today, no one will buy it. So we need to make a kind of compromise in it.
All right. And how do you ensure that your organization stays at the forefront of technological advancements and uses them to address sustainability challenges?
So the first point, if you are not efficient in terms of energy in the steelmaking world, your plant will close. It's as simple as it is, because what is the main driver is the cost of production. And the cost of production, a big part of it is related to energy. So this is the point one. If you are not competitive in that term, you will fail. On point two, as we want to decarbonize ourselves, we have been in each and our plant making a roadmap of what we have to do to decarbonize and to be efficient. So as we are in Luxembourg, I want to give the example of Luxembourg, what we are doing. So we have 3 plants in Luxembourg, in Belval, Differdange and Rodange, producing steel. Belval and Differdange, we are melting scrap. And in Belval, Differdange and Rodange, we are rolling the steel to be sold to the clients. In this scope, we are making 2 very important projects. In the Belval electric arc furnace, we are melting the scrap. We bought a new electric arc furnace to be installed in 1 or 2 years from now, which will be much more energy efficient and will be able also to use hydrogen instead of natural gas in the future. So this is our first step to be more cost effective and better in terms of sustainability. Second aspect, at the level of the rolling mills, we are burning natural gas. So to give you order of magnitude, those 3 plants are burning 1/3 of the natural gas of the full Luxembourg. So it's quite big. So what we are doing now is we want to switch to hydrogen usage instead of natural gas. Something which is not done in the industrial way since years. So we are making a project with Europe to be ready at more or less 2030 to be sure that this furnace is able to use only hydrogen. By doing this, you divide the impact by 2 of the plant of Belval, more or less. And if it works properly in Belval, then we want to make it in all our shops to be sure that then our carbon neutrality is really good.
Another great example of how Luxembourg is at the forefront of innovation everywhere you look.
So how do you see technology changing in the next 5 years to make the world more sustainable?
Yeah, the first thing I see is we will most probably use much more hydrogen everywhere. And I'm wondering the way we will produce this electricity. So I think it's negative, but the nuclear power plants, they will grow up a bit more. Otherwise, we'll have a lot of difficulty to produce that electricity. On the other side, I'm also sure that solar and wind will also increase a lot. But I'm not sure today our world is ready not making new nuclear power plants. Maybe we'll make smaller ones that will be more efficient. But solar and wind will help a lot for sure. But I'm not sure if we want, for example, to electrify all the cars, we won't have enough electricity available on the market. So we'll need to make something else. So this is my view. And I will expect people reducing their consumption. I'm trying personally to do it at home, but I'm not sure that our world in general is ready to do this. So this is my view.
That's true. Maybe not yet, but I think also we don't have an option, or we won't have an option.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you also exploring some other energy sources except hydrogen?
The answer is yes, but there is a big problem in ArcelorMittal. We are huge. So when you look at, you want to use another energy, I can give you some example. One good example in Luxembourg, we are using used tires. So the tire from cars, you don't know what to do with. We are putting them in the electric arc furnace instead of putting coal. So that is good. We looked also at using biomass instead of. The volume of biomass you need is really big. It needs a huge stockpile of biomass to be burnt. And on top of it, the biomass all over the world is really well used today. Today, if you want to find biomass, it's not as easy because a lot of people are already using it. So that's why we are going on the waste wood side, because the waste wood and also the hazardous waste wood, where it is more difficult to use, we should be able to use quite easily in our plants. So we have a lot of projects in this. For example, we have a project where we're trying, I think, 40 or 60 different types of biomass that we should be able to put in our electric arc furnace. So this is the type of things we are looking at today.
Okay. Really alternative sources.
Mm.
And you've been participating in the ICT Spring. Is it your first year that you're here, or you're coming back?
Yeah, it is my first year there.
Okay. And maybe it's early, but we wanted to ask you, what is your key takeaway from participating in the ICT Spring?
From today, what was interesting for me today is to participate to the round table we have. Today also, it's mostly related to IT subjects. Mm-hmm. So I'm not that familiar of IT subjects than the other ones, but I found very interesting, especially the presentation I've seen from Dassault when they spoke about the virtual twins. I also heard that in ArcelorMittal we're working with them. I was not aware. I think this can be for me, it can be a good thing that we should be able to do. And the other point, I was also impressed by the presentation of, I think it was Chrome, where it says they are half more efficient than the other one in terms of energy. So I will check because I want to be sure. But for me, it was quite interesting to see this because they make quite a lot of effort in their presentation to be more sustainable. Yes. So, and my final takeaway, I would say, we are not the only one which want to be sustainable. This is what I've seen today. Each company tried to do its best to do it, like ArcelorMittal. So I was really surprised. I was not expecting people so much engaged in sustainability aspects today.
That's really a good sign, I think. Yes. Well, these are all our questions. Do you have anything else that you'd like to add? Or it's fine with you?
No, for me, it's fine. Thank you.
Perfect. It was really great having you with us today. I hope you enjoyed the experience. Yeah. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
See you next year.
Thank you.
And that's all for today. This is TechTalk. Technology made simple springs into action at the ICT Spring. Don't miss out on any future episodes by hitting subscribe. Thank you for listening, and until the next episode.